we are going to use styles to make this look like this. And so on the previous page, all the content was there that is showing here. It's just that this has been styled differently. Now, yes, you could go in and just mark all the independent elements and make the changes to reflect this look, but wouldn't it be nice if you only had to set those styles once? And that's what this video is going to show you, how to create a style, whether it be a character style, a paragraph style, or an object style. You spend the time setting it once, and then if that style needs to be applied again, it's a matter of marking it and clicking on that style name to apply it.
No way.
And then also, if you want to make changes to something, well, it's a matter of just opening up the style, making the changes, and it instantly applies to everything in the layout that has had that style applied.
No way!
So it can be an incredible time saver. Okay, so what is the difference between these three styles? Well, let me walk you through that. This is a good example of a character style, meaning that you apply styles to something that aren't really meant to be more than one or two or a few words. Things like this headline, this tagline, and then these subheads here in the copy. Now, paragraph styles means that you can deal with all those character styles in addition to all the styles that affect paragraphs, for instance, tabs. And then finally, object styles are things like images or graphics that you can apply things like, in this case, you'll see a drop shadow, you'll see a text wrap. Those two things have been applied using object styles. So that means that anytime I apply a style to any image, it will automatically have those characteristics. Anyway, enough preamble. Let's get in and roll our sleeves up, shall we?
Okay!
So I've already created some character styles, and then I'll show you how to create a new one as well. So I'm going to open up the character styles window, which should be over here in your dock. If it's not, you can access it through the window menu here, pull down to styles, and you'll see you have access to character, object, and paragraph, as well as a couple of other styles. So I'm just going to open up that character styles, and you'll see in here that there are three choices. This one, none, is what the default is, but I've created styles for headline and then for tagline. So I just want to go in and I want to modify these styles. So for the headline here, I'd like to increase the leading a little bit, open that up, and then change the color to purple. So I'm going to double click on this style name, and you'll see these are all the different sets of attributes I have access to. Under General, this is where you create the name for the style, and this shows you the basic parameters that have already been set. So you'll see it's Museo Sans 900, and it's 47-point type on 41 points of leading. So I want to fix that first. So I'm going to go here, and I just want to change the leading to 45. And so you'll see it is already being applied immediately because I have the preview box checked. And then the next thing I want to do is just change the color. So I'll go here to character color area, and that will show all the colors that are in my swatches. I will choose purple. That change is immediately applied. And then as long as I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead, and there's question marks in here, so I like to get rid of those question marks. So I do not want to have any stroke on my type, so I will make that none. And then click OK. So pretty easy, right?
Right!
Now I did already create the style, but you'll see in a minute how easy it is to do that. Okay, so the tagline here. I would like to make this be italic, and I would like to change the color of that to be pink. So double click on the tagline there, and let's see, basic character format. So I want to change the style here from regular to italic, and then I want to go to color and make that be pink. So again, how easy does it get?
I don't know.
Now these two things, quite honestly, if this was just this one page, wouldn't need to have a style applied because there's only one of them. But the idea here is that if this were a multiple page brochure and there were headlines and taglines showing up through the whole brochure, then you would apply that style very simply to each of those. Before we do that though, I want to go ahead and create a new style. So we're going to do that in paragraph styles, however. I'm going to go down to paragraph style, and I'd like to go ahead and style all of this body copy.
Okay, go ahead.
So I am going to just click on the new style button down here, and then I will double click on this. It will open the window. So I'm just going to call this body copy, which, if you don't know that term, that's a term meaning paragraph copy, small text. And I would like to change this. Now this already has some settings in here, but this is based on the tagline. So I want to go into basic character formats, and I would like this to be just Georgia regular. I would like the size of this to be 12 points. I would like the leading on this to be 18 point. And then normal case and position normal. That's all good. I would like the color to be black, and so character color, do you see all the different choices you have here?
Whatever.
Lots and lots of choices. So I'm going to go to character color, and I don't want this to be pink. I would like this to be black. And you'll see no changes have taken place yet because I haven't applied that style to anything. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll make another change. So I'm going to click OK. So there's my body copy style. And then I'm going to get my type tool, and I'm just going to click inside that top paragraph and do Command or Control A to mark all of that. And then if I just simply click on body copy, then that style is applied. So how easy can you get, right? Now, one thing I don't like is that this tab is a little bit too big. And that's really the only tab in here, but I'd still like to adjust this, and then I can apply it to body copy elsewhere in this brochure. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that again, and you can pull down to tabs. And looks just like the tab window you're used to. And I'm just going to make sure I have a left tab, and then click in here, and I want this to be about 2 picas. So that's perfect. And you'll see if I turn the preview on and off, it will give me that little preview showing that this little indent right here is going from that down to that, which is just what I want. So I'm going to click OK. So that's how creating a new style is done, and that's how applying it is done. And that's pretty much identical for both character styles and paragraph styles. Okay, so let's make another character style now. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark the text that I would like to become a subhead. And then I'm going to go to the character styles window, and I am going to create a new style. And I'm going to open this up and call this Subheads. So what I want my subheads to be are Museo Sans 900 again. And then the size of this I would like to be 12 point. And the leading of this I would like to be 26 points. I'm going to leave the defaults on everything else. And then for color on this, I would like these to be purple. So I'm going to go to character color, click on that purple. Again, make sure it has no outline. And then click OK. And you'll see that it has been applied to that first subhead. And you'll see that when I am clicked in that subhead, it shows the style attached to it as being a subhead. Okay, so now I would like to make these other 2 subheads. You'll see right now it has a character style of none. And so I can now just, with that marked, I can go in and click on subheads, and that immediately fixes that. And then I can do the same thing here. So you may wonder why I had so much leading on that. 12-point type, but 26 points of leading. Well, that was to push this line down a little bit. So when you set leading for a line here in InDesign, it will space it between the line that's marked and the line that is above it. So this has 26 points from that baseline down here to this baseline. So just gave me a little space in between to improve readability. Okay, so all that leaves us to do now is to create some object styles. And so I'm going to go get my arrow tool at this point. I'm going to close the character styles window, and I'm going to go ahead and click on one of my images. Now, there is no object styles window over here in the dock, so I need to go up to the window menu, pull down to styles, and choose object styles, and that will open this up as a floating window. So you'll see I have not created any styles yet in here. These are all presets already put in there by InDesign. So I want to create a new style. And so I'm going to click on the new style button, open that up and give it a name, and I'm just going to simply call this Pics. And then this dialog box is nuts because there's so much to work with. And so don't worry about style settings. This is just where you can go to see what settings you've done once you've set them. You need to focus over here on the left. And so the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to pull this over so we can see this taking effect, is I want to create some text wrap, because right now the type is actually going behind the image. And so I'm going to pull down here to text wrap and other, and I'll just click on it, and this gives me access to all of those settings. And so I'm going to make this just be wrap around a bounding box. Perfect. You'll see that takes effect right away. And then really the top and the bottom are fine, and the left is fine because there is no wrap on the left at all. I really just want to change the right, so I'm going to make that be 6 points. And you'll see that that wraparound immediately takes effect. And then the shadow, I'd like to give it a drop shadow. So I'm going to click on that. And a few things I want to change here. You'll notice that it gives me a preview, which is way too dark and clunky. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the color, and I'm going to make this be that purple color also. However, that is garish, so I'm going to turn the percentage down to about 40. Just make that a little bit more subtle. And then it's way too big, and the shadow is going in the wrong direction. It's actually going into the type, which I don't want it to do. I want it to just come straight down just a little bit. So I'm going to change the angle here to 90 degrees. Would have been easier if I just typed it, but I got it. I'm stubborn. And then the distance, I would like this distance to be quite a bit smaller. So I'm going to bring that down to about, yeah, that looks pretty good, around 4 points. And so it's there, but it's subtle. And quite honestly, I probably don't need that effect. And if I was going to move forward with this project, I'd probably get rid of it. But anyway, that is groovy, and it will make it very easy for me to show you when we apply this object style to the other pictures. So click OK. Now this has not been applied to these images because they don't have the style attached to them. So if I click on this, you'll see it is telling me there's no style attached to this. But if I click on Pics, boom, I have the wraparound, and I have the purple drop shadow, and then do the same thing here. Now I notice a problem that I don't like is that this line should be going underneath the picture. So I need to adjust my text wrap. So I'm going to open up that again, and this time I'll pull it over this way so we can see. And then I'm going to go back into my text wrap area, and I'm actually going to give this a minus text wrap. So I'm just going to click on that, and that already closed it up, so I'm good. Click OK, and now I pretty much have exactly what I want. Well done, people. You are layout gods and goddesses.